so that it's a little bit more than news, weather, and sports. Okay? I know you've said, hey, how are you? You look nice. Good to see you. All those cool little things. But we're going to jump into something. I tell you what, I would give $1 if you could find the tallest person in the room. The way I would do that is, can you find the tallest person in the room sitting down, not standing up? Anybody can do that. Huh? Now, see, there's couple of tall people in here, but how do you know who's the tallest? See? Okay? Go. Let's take 5 minutes. You don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to come to me. I'm not. I'm standing. I'm not sitting. Just 5 minutes. Go around to more than one person. Okay, guys. So here's a great question for you. So here's a great question. How many of you came in here smiling, but you're exhausted from faking it? You want me to say that again? How many of you came in smiling, but you're exhausted from faking it? Well, let me rephrase it and reframe it. Can you think back to a pretty recent time where you were smiling but faking it? So are you saying you don't ever smile to your spouse but fake it? You don't ever smile to your coworkers but fake it? You don't ever smile to your students but really you're faking it? You don't ever pick up the Bible to read it but you're faking it? Come on. I'm just talking, you're going through the motion. You're going through the routine. You're going through what you know, maybe a discipline, but it's not coming out of love. It's not coming out of love. So I want to start that. It's not a series. It's all this is agape. But I want to talk to you and share with you about how to develop or identify if you have an unbreakable identity. An unbreakable identity. Because I find that many times in life that there's many things that challenge our identity, who we think we are. Have you ever had something to challenge you? You thought you were real strong, and you got to a situation and you weren't as strong as you thought you were? That could be physically, that can be mentally, that can be emotionally, that can be something can happen in your life, and you thought you were stronger than that. Maybe you got rejected. You know, you thought you were over something and something happened and you find out, I'm not over it. And it's amazing how such small things can break your identity. You could bench press 315 pounds, but all it would take is another 5-pound plate on each side and break you. Not another 45-pound plate, a 2-pound. I mean, they do make plates really small when you get into high bench pressing or lifting. They just put 1 or 2 pounds. 1 pound. You have, what is it? It's 2 plates on each side for 315. The bar's 45, and then you got the 2 plates. I think that's 315. So you can truly, no, that's not right, is it? It's 45, 90 is 180, 225. So you can be really, you can take pride and you can take a lot about what you're capable, but sometimes all it takes is one little thing that's already got you loaded that can break you. So let's look at a scripture. Matthew 3:17. I would say that this scripture could sum up in your entire Bible agape love. And we're going to look at it from a different perspective. This is my son. Now this is the Father. This is Abba talking about Jesus, okay? He just got baptized by John the Baptist in the Jordan River. So y'all with me? This is my son, chosen and marked by my love, the light of my life, who brings me great joy. This is my son. Let's hit the highlights. This is my son, marked by my love and the delight of my life. That's the 3 highlights of this. 19 words in this sentence. And that's the three highlights. Now, here's the question I want to ask you. What made Abba, the Father, love Jesus at this moment? This is so key. It's not because he was Jesus, the Son of God. Notice what we're looking at here. And we're going to walk through this slowly. At this point, Jesus was 30 years old. He had not yet done his first miracle of turning water into wine. At this point, he had not done anything in his life. He was not loved by what he did. He was not validated by what he had done. He was not validated or loved by his performance. He was loved and a delight before he did anything. Now, what you need to understand is, what in your life and my life does that exist? You don't get promoted unless you've done something. You don't get awards unless you have performed. There is nothing that we do on a daily basis that we get validation, approval, and love unless we are doing something. What does a dad or people say to a mother? You're such a good mother. Based on something you saw. You're such a good child based on your behavior. You're such a good student based on your academia. How many of us tell people we love them because we see something, receive something, or we're getting something out of it? I love you, Mama. There's a catch usually. That's not a bad thing. You know this as a parent when your children start, hey, can I do anything for you? You want me to? And they'll start offering things to do. And genuinely, I believe genuinely, they are meaning that because we have been taught in order for me to get something, I must do something. In order for me to be loved and liked, I must be on good behavior. And if I don't like you, I'm going to give you bare minimal, reasonable, and if I like you, I give you more. So we live in life. How many times do you actually carry someone, your boss or someone, and you buy them something, just nothing in it? Now, we may do that time to time, but I'm talking about this as routine. We don't even think about the cost that it costs us. We don't even think about the time it takes us. We say this all the time. I was thinking about you today. It didn't go much further than that. I was busy, but I did think about you. And that's a good thing. But it doesn't go much further than that. It doesn't go to a text message. It doesn't go to a phone call. It doesn't go anywhere except in our heads. But before Jesus had did a miracle, before he had healed anybody, before he died on the cross, before he was resurrected, wouldn't that be a great time? You're my best son. But no, he hadn't done anything. And see, this whole agape thing is about developing love, that we have love for people, love for things, without having to see something to get out of them. See, his identity, when he was told, You're my beloved Son, marked by my love, a delight. See, delight sealed his identity, not his work. Does that make sense? His delight, the Father was sealing his identity. I don't have to do anything. I am a delight. I can tell you I'm 56. I don't know if I've lived many years or months. I probably would say I don't know if how many months out of 56 years that I really believe I was a delight for people for just being a delight. My mom was 41 when she got pregnant. And she was not upset. I was her favorite. But I did hear her say several times, not in a negative. You probably said it. People get pregnant and they say, "You're pregnant." Yeah, I wasn't expecting it. That's not much of a delight. We weren't planning you. That's a little something. Some of us planned one child, we didn't plan two. And some of us planned two, but we didn't plan three. And some of us planned three, but we weren't planning on four. And some of us planned four, but not five. And some of us planned five, but not six. Do you see how this can project? I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know if we can feed another mouth. I don't know when you hear these things, all these communication things are not delightful communication to your spirit. You're just like your dad. It doesn't sound like delight. You're just like your mom. Is that good or bad? Does that make sense? The Father confirmed the Son before he did anything. So let me ask you a few questions to just get you to reflect on this. Have you ever wondered how much delight you brought your parents? Have you ever wondered how much? Here's a scripture that jumps out to me. It says in Hebrews, without faith it is impossible to please God. Now, hang on for a minute. We're not talking about the love. The love is established. He loves us. But can I tell you, your behavior can be unpleasing. Your attitude can be unpleasing. Your dress can be unpleasing. Your grades can be unpleasing. Not that you're performing, but knowing you're not doing your best. Knowing you got your mind on something else. How pleasing or delightful are you to your coworkers? Are your coworkers delighted to be around you? Delighted? Or is it, I can't wait to get out of this job. This job is a dead end. Can't wait to get a new store manager. These hours just, they want more and more. They don't pay me enough for this. How much of a delight are you to your coworkers? How much of a delight are you to the people you go to church with? How much are a delight? How about this one? Can we go a little raw? How much of a delight do you bring to yourself? I would say in this room, and I would say in my life, there was a lot of times if I thought about me, I was not a delight. Because I'm not talking about necessarily my behavior. Because, see, your behavior could look good, but still your interior not be delightful. See, you can see a nice house, but it doesn't mean it's clean on the inside. You can see a nice house, but it doesn't mean the beds are made. You can see a nice house, but it doesn't mean it's in order. So we have this ability to pretend out to everybody else and put our best foot forward. But how much of a delight are you to yourself? Does your character delight you? Does the way you think delight you? Does the inner conversations you have, when you see someone, I'm talking about the real you. Do you like the real you? And I hear people say this. I've said it. It is what it is. You take me as I am. But that doesn't mean it's delightful. And it doesn't mean we like ourselves. Because I find that many times our exterior conduct and behavior is really a dislike on the inside. So how much of a delight, if you are a believer, how much of a delight do you think you are to God? There's another scripture in the Bible. It says, try to find out what pleases God. Have you ever tried to find out what pleases God? Do you know what pleases Him? Because you hear people say, well, I don't think you have to do that. It's not whether you think you have to, but does it please? I don't think I should have to make my bed. Yeah, but would it please your mom to make your bed? She gave you life. She washes your clothes. She took care of all your little poo-poo and pee-pee for 3 years. Should it not be a part of us that wants to bring delight to God, to our parents, to our co-workers? We are salt and light. We are to bring influence to the atmosphere. We are to be an encouragement. We are to be an inspiration. We should be a roadmap for people. How about this? I was just thinking about this. Have you ever heard someone say, I just want to be the best spouse? I want to be the best. Do you know as soon as you say, I want to be the best, you are already in performance. You're always in competition. See, you don't have to try to be your best. The goal is you learn to become the best. And then you don't have to try to achieve it because you are already working on the interior. And when you do something, you're always putting the best forward that you have arrived at this point. I'm just trying to, you get frustrated trying to be the best in everything. I'm just trying. You're trying. I got to be the best in this. See, you might want to write this down or think about this and ask yourself this question. Because I believe that many of us believe God tolerates us more than He delights in us. I'm going to say it again. Do you believe that God truly delights in you, or do you believe He just tolerates me? If I don't read the Bible enough, does He still delight in me? I hadn't been to church in a month. Does He still delight in me? I haven't even prayed for a week. I know nobody in here does that. How many times have you told someone you'll pray for them, but you never prayed for them? You thought about them, but you didn't pray for them. So, what do you have to do for God to love you and to approve you and to say you're His delight? Can you be just you? Can you just be you and be confident knowing that God takes delight in me? If you do, then you're way ahead of me. Because most of my life I have spent believing I had to do above and beyond to be the best Christian. So what is Alana doing? Good. Then I got to do more than her to be better Christian than her. You're a prayer warrior, you're an intercessor, then I need to pray more than you to be a better prayer person. Are you really looking at yourself, and I'm looking at myself saying, how much of what I do am I really a performer? You didn't know you were an actor, or did you? Or an actress. You didn't know you were in a film. So let's look at a verse, and you get to, in this verse, it's in your handout, I want it where it has your name. That's your name, put a line, and I want you to write your name over the top of that. And this just brings and ties the scripture together. Now, this is what Yahweh, that's the name for God, says. Listen, your name right there. To the one who created you, I have called you by, put your name right there. You are mine. Now read that to yourself. With your name in it. Read it again. Now this is what Abba, same thing that he said to Jesus. Now this is what Yahweh says. Listen, Timothy. Listen, Carissa. Listen, Greg, whatever your name is, to the one who created you, I have called you by name. I have called you by Timothy, and you are mine. All through Scripture, he is trying to let you know that you're not. How do we identify ourselves? Oh, I'm a Baptist. I'm a Methodist. I go to so-and-so church. See, that's not your label. That's not your title. Your title is son. Your title is child of God. Your title is beloved. Your title is I'm the delightful one. What does your parents think about me? I'm the most delightful child. You ready for this? Religion, say religion, trained us to believe God grades our papers and not holds our hearts. See, religion teaches you that God is grading your papers, grading your works, grading your doing, but He doesn't hold our hearts. He's the principal. Do you ever want to go to the principal's office? If it ever comes over the loudspeaker, Brian Green, report to the principal's office. Ooh, what you do? What you do, everybody? Or the neighbor comes out and says, Shekinah, your mama called, said, get home. Jada, Coach wants to see you ASAP. What'd I do? Did I get cut from the team? Automatically. You don't see, and why is that? Because we're always fighting to be in a position, and we say it's a dog-eat-dog world, and someone can take our place. You got to work hard to stay in that position. So any time that there is something, that is that negative voice. That is that breakable identity. Jada, you need to come to the office. The coach wants to see you ASAP. Does it not come to your mind? What is this about? But when you have unbreakable identity in who you are, then it doesn't matter what is said, what is asked, what is required of you. It never crosses your mind, I'm in trouble. When you get home and mom says, Dad wants to see you, he's in the backyard. Does delight come to your mind? I'm just talking through the process. That thought that comes to your mind, is it, did I do anything? Did I forget to put something away? Did it's not that positive that I must have forgot something. And this unbreakable identity that I believe you and I can arrive at first has to be established in love. Now, let me just put a little side note here. I think where we get in trouble sometimes, we get lazy thinking, I can do anything, don't have to do anything. I don't have to go to church. I don't have to read the Bible. I don't have to be home at curfew. I don't have to put gas in. I don't have to do anything. That doesn't separate the love, but it doesn't mean you're pleasing. And sometimes we start taking on wrong excuses for why we don't do anything anymore, when really we are to work to please God. So is God grading your papers, your conduct, your behavior, or is He holding your heart? So important. So here's a question, and I'm not going to ask you to raise your hands, but here's a question I want to ask. Because the large percentage, what is a large percentage? More than 50%. Let me pause. Say large percentage. Now listen to this. Pause and I'm going to continue. I want to give you a stat. 90%. Is that a large? Is that average? Listen. 90%. This is a study. This is research. This is not a guess. 90% of a study done of all men, all people incarcerated in prison, hate their fathers. Hate their fathers. Despise their fathers. 90%. I wonder if the 90% could have been reduced greatly by a father in their life. So here's my question for you. Now we got a high percentage. So if you have a high percentage of a father in your life, listen, who was silent. Listen, this is important we catch this. Just because your dad didn't cuss you, slap you, get drunk and abuse you, silence is abuse. My dad never hit me in any anger. He did take his belt off and we played the merry-go-round until I got smart and put a book in my pants. If you never thought about putting a book in your pants, you've never been whipped. That's all I can say. My dad never, ever, ever abused me physically, verbally, but what he did do, he never said, I'm proud of you. He never said, I love you. He never said the things that I needed as a young boy in my life. Listen to me. If you have had an abusive, some of you have experienced abusive. My mother, when she grew up, my granddad, which had passed before I was born, but my grandmother did a lot of the raising of me. But my grandmother and mother, my granddad would get so drunk, and he was an alcoholic. He would get so drunk that they would sleep in the barn for several days while he was on his rampages in the house. You cannot have an alcoholic parent and know the love of God. You cannot have a silent father and know the love of Abba. You cannot have an abusive father and know the love of the Father. You cannot have an absent father and know the love of the Father. You cannot have any reference to what this is like when your dad was not a part of your life, or he was a scary part of your life, or an abusive part of your life. So now we're trying to relate to God, and we can't relate because we have no reference point. So all of our stories are different. but it's the same damage. Well, I turned out okay. I survived. I made it. I didn't do bad for myself, but it still doesn't mean that you are at the best place that you could be if you had a father in your life. And we all love our fathers. Even if they're abusive, we still love them. Even if they silence us, we still love them. There's something about us, we still love it. We will defend them. We will make excuses for it. But you are internally, emotionally damaged. And only God can heal that. Only having a revelation and experience with agape love can that begin to heal that. Does that make sense? How about a performance-driven father? You've heard some talking about a militaristic father. You know, everything in the house, bed's made, this, cut the lights off, don't do this. Why are you sitting in that? Take your shoes off at the door. I mean, it's in boot camp all the time. That is abusive. So what I'm saying to you is, let me tell you another thing. Let me just pause for another question, another statement. Divorce covers 50% or more of our society. Listen to this statement. When you get a divorce and you remarry, now tell yourself this right here. I'm not under any condemnation. Because that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to give you facts. When a marriage separates and you marry someone else, there is 30% of all remarriages, the children are abused. As soon as you remarry, that child has 10 times more of a chance being in poverty than they were with the original parent. There is no good remarriage. Please be careful what I'm saying. Please be careful. Don't take that wrong. But you can't take every new step in life and say, this is for the better. There are pros and cons. There's trade-offs in every situation. When we get married, if God is the center of that marriage, you can get through every marriage. 30% abuse more in a remarriage than the original marriage. And we put our children through that all the time. Because what? We need to cuddle. We need our back scratched. We need a good meal on the table. What a risk. What a risk we're willing to pay for comfort. There's nothing wrong. I don't take what I said in the negative. Take it in the warning that there is a trade-off. So if your template, y'all know what a template is, right? If your template for fatherhood was pain or pressure, how could you believe in a father that actually loves you? If you lived in a pressure cooker at home, how can you not live in a pressure cooker with Abba? So I want to help you and me with this next statement. For you who believes in forgiveness intellectually, but emotionally you still feel dirty. See, we believe in love intellectually. We believe in forgiveness intellectually. But there's still something about us because of abortion. There is still something about us because of an adultery affair. There is still something about us because of the divorce. There is something about us because of the promiscuity, because of the addiction, because I didn't provide. We can be intellectually forgiven but still feel dirty. Hello, am I helping you? And see, when we still feel this pain and we still feel these emotions and we still feel the hurt from our past and situations, then we have not yet arrived to an unbreakable identity, because they still fracture our identity. Because we'll say, how are you today? Oh, I'm not on my best moment. I'm battling what are we battling? We're battling things internally. Today you just suck. You ever had those days? You wake up and you just, the memories, or it's a certain day. It's a certain day, this moment, this happened. These remarkable moments in our life. And sometimes it's like when you listen to a song and you get transported back. You run into a smell and it reminds you of somebody. We have these moments where we are transported all over the place in our identity because of things. An unbreakable identity is you're not transportable anymore. You are solid in God. You're anchored in God. See, Abba isn't guessing about you. Tell yourself, He's not guessing about me. He's not confused about my value. He has said, I have been named. I have been named. He's called me, created me. I have been marked by what? His love, and I bring Him joy. That is every day. You have to tell yourself, I have been marked by His love. I bring Him to delight today, not in my devotions, not in my praise and worship, not in listening to K-Love all day. See, unbreakable identity begins when you stop trying to earn delight and start living from it. What are you? Listen, catch this. Are we on the same page here? See, the whole thing about salvation, the whole thing about living for God, is you're not trying to earn it anymore. This is your starting place. So let's try to identify, see if any of these things identify some characteristics that contradict what God says about you. What does He say about you? I have named you. I've marked you with my love, and I take delight in you. So does any of these things contradict that identity? Perfectionism. Trying to earn love by always getting it right. Look at me. Say, hey, Pastor Perfectionist. Don't call me PT anymore. Call me PP. PT, Pastor Tim. I use that, Pastor Tim, prayer time, physical training. I got a lot of things for PT. But PP don't sound that good, does it? Hey, Pastor PP. Well, look at yourself and say, well, no, you're not PP, I'm PP. Perfectionist. No. I was the master perfectionist. The master. It was going to be done right, or it was not going to be done, or we would stay there until we got it done. And I don't care what it cost you or how you feel about it. This is the way it's going to be done. Why? Because perfection is performing. It's not even performing so much about others. It's such a devalued identity. You're trying to prove to yourself you're valuable. Performance is really not about anybody. Perfection's not about other people. It's about you. Because what are you doing? Well, I'm getting this right. What are you doing? You're listening, aren't you, babe? The pillars are got to be just right. They look fine to me. Yeah, but this is the way you got to turn them this way and this way and this way. And We all have perfection. We all have it. We all have it. But perfection it is rooted in an issue of not being secure. It's the way it's supposed to be. And we were both perfectionists. And then when you stop, detailing got me out of perfection. It got me into it, but it got me out. You know why? Because a lot of times we don't see our exit in something as our upgrade. You can never upgrade until you exit. People pleasing. Does that contradict? Jesus didn't do anything to please at this point. Changing who you are to gain acceptance. Changing our beliefs. Changing things to gain acceptance. How about self-sabotaging? Punishing yourself always for your mistakes. Punishing yourself for your weight. Punishing yourself for your decisions. Punishing yourself for your failures. Punishing yourself for not doing a good enough job. How about hustle mentality? Believing your worth is tied to your work. You will not miss a day of work. You will not miss a day of work. You know why you won't miss a day of work? Because your identity is tied to your work. Your identity is tied to what they say about you. Your identity is tied to what you have built an identity around your work. So therefore, if you don't be at work, if you're not always at work, then you are messing with your identity, and your identity is not unbreakable. It's breakable based on what they think about you at work. You'd rather be known for never missing a day for 20 years than be known for loving people. You'd rather be known for never missing church than holding the hand of your neighbor while their house burns down. You'd rather have a pin or a certificate so you can hang on the wall than for someone saying how grateful they were and valuable it was for you to be in their life at your funeral. How about shame cycles? Believing your worth is feeling too broken to be delighted in. When you look in the mirror and you see yourself, you see the flaws, you see all the things that could be but they're not, it's hard to take delight in that. If I would have counted a few more calories, if I would have said no to that, if I would have exercised a little more, if I would have done this, your life would be different in multiple ways. Your exercise, your eating will determine how long you live. It will determine the spouse you get. And you and I will blame God and blame this, and we will say genetics, and it's none. It is a breakable identity that we don't see value, so we medicate ourselves with food, exercise, and money. Three things you're always going to battle in life. Three things you're always going to be drawn to. Sex, married, teenager, or whatever. Sex is a part of your life. And you're always going to be drawn to it. It's a seductive thing. The second thing is power. And the third thing is sex, power, and money. I wish I had that car. You can. You get money. I wish I lived in that neighborhood. You can. You get money. Those three things will determine who you hang around. Those three things determine what you'll be known for. Jesus battled these three things. Adam and Eve fell on these three things. You're never going to get away from these three issues. I didn't get a doctorate's degree. I do wish I would have got a doctorate's degree. I don't want to be a doctor. I just like education in what I do. Spiritual performance. Serving and praying just to feel worthy again. All these things we just described contradict an unbreakable identity. Notice, all these things we're discussing, they're not root issues, they're fruit issues. Don't say these are roots. They're not roots. These are fruits of an issue of breakable identity. Your identity or my identity has not been secured. Write this down if you don't have it in your notes. Your behavior always echoes what you believe about yourself. Your behavior always echoes what you believe about yourself and what you believe God believes about you. How about this? So subconsciously, they say that 95% of all your behavior and my behavior is subconscious. It's just, when you get angry or when you get upset or you get mad or whatever it is, you don't have someone telling you to do that. It just happens. It's subconscious. 95% of everything you do is subconscious. 95%. That's a high number. So what does that 95% tell you? When I'm struggling, God must be disappointed. If I failed again, He must be pulling away from me. If I'm struggling, how can God love me if I'm struggling? How can God love me if I'm going through a divorce? How can God love me if I relapse again? How can God love me? Do you see the identity issue? How many times have I told Mom I'm going to make the bed and don't make it? I know she's disappointed in me or he's disappointed in me. And what we do because of our experience with our dads, and we're talking about dads today because there's such a vital role, but because of our experience with our dads, therefore we project on God the same identity we have of our dads. God must be like my dad. God will treat me the way my dad. Or you've seen someone else's dad. God will treat me the way. So we've got all these pictures of dads in our database. So therefore, when we project on God, we think the same thing. He's disappointed. I'm a failure. And then when we have something that happen in our life, we have these very down lows because we know God's disappointed. I want to share this with you. I want one more scripture with you. And this is in Galatians. Let me find here where I want to read this to you. Galatians 2:20. This is the mirror. Now I have discovered that Christ is infused in me, in my life. For the first time, I am free to be me in my skin. Immersed in His faith and our joint sonship, He loves me and believes in me, and Jesus is Abba's gift to me. Let me share with you just for a moment before we close about me, the performer, becoming a son. My whole life I have been a performer. Since childhood, I craved affirmation. This week, I sat down and I actually put my dictation on, and I just talked about from the time I was born, and just talking it out and going back and filling in the things. I'm not reminiscing. I'm not tearing myself up, but I'm looking at the process of how I got to this place, how I reacted to these things, how I responded to these things. Because, see, I can't do anything about the way my dad, because he didn't do it maliciously or probably wasn't even thinking, but I can't do anything about the wounding that comes to me. I am totally responsible for how I respond to it. Your role is, how do I respond to this? Because if we respond incorrectly, it can cause damage that begins to sow seeds for years to come. So I learned to earn approval. I learned to earn compliments. What is that? Work harder. Well, you're a good worker. Perform harder. Man, nobody does it as good as you. Oh, yeah, let me show you how good I do it. I do it better than that. So I work harder and harder, keep getting better and better. What am I doing? I'm getting better and better at performing. I'm getting better and better at acting. I'm getting better and better at transactional love, that if I do this, and then someone comes along that literally can do it better than me. Was this all fake? All this work, all this time. And someone walks in just like that, and it shifts. That's what happens in divorce. I love you until death do us part, and someone walks by. Woo! How fickle that a figure, that a butt, that a smile, that a physical fit person can walk by and draw our attention. And we chase it. We flirt with it. Not just that, in every area of life. Why do we do that? Because we've not developed an unbreakable identity. I need that to make me whole. I need that to really be loved. I need that. I need that. I need that. I need that. It's like a grocery store. We need that. We need that. We need this. Yeah, let's get this. Let's get that. We can make this. You're trying to make something because you don't have something. You don't know who you are. I hugged my wife yesterday, and I hugged her, and I remained calm. But see, I've been married 37 years. I don't have regret, but just in what I have learned in the last 6 months, I wish I could go back and love her the way I have, starting from where I know now about love 36 years ago. She knows nothing about me loving her. I've been good to her. I've given her gifts. I've done things. But what I'm talking about, love that is unhuman. A love that is sacrificial. A love that has no conditions. A love. We have boundaries, but a love that is not selfless. How much of our friendships, how much of our church, how much of everything is conditional? What's in it for me? What do I get out of this? Or you and I getting together, what am I going to lose of my time? I could be doing something important. You're not as important as my time. It's not worth 30 minutes to go see our mom and dad because I'm busy. But then at the funeral, we want to cry. We can't pick up the phone. We can't give a gift. We can't do this. But at the funeral, we feel, I could have did. You hear it all the time. I could have done so much more. You can't because we were selfish. When we move in agape, we recognize the moment and the time. And this is the moment and time I need to be in. So when you live off applause, you have to keep performing to feel worthy. And the moment I slow down, I feel like a failure. As soon as I slow down, I'm a failure. Why? Because my identity is built on performing. Are y'all with me for a moment? Or worse, I label myself as a failure. It's not about you seeing me as a failure. Now I label myself as a failure because I can't perform at the level I should be performing. So I know you see that I'm not performing, and therefore it's important how you see me because I get your confirmations and your accolades, but then I label myself as a failure. So this leaks into your spiritual walk with God. I'm the best at everything. Wow. What a letdown. If we can't measure up to what we think people want from us. So now I know the truth. I'm not a performer, I'm a son. I am becoming a son. You will wear yourself out. Because I believe in health. I believe in good health. I believe in eating right and all that. But I can't tell you how many people I know, because of their drive to be fit and what people think, that they wore their bodies out. Listen, I'm going to talk to all of you. Just listen to me what I'm saying. You get caught up in performance and you think you have to run a marathon once a month. But I'm going to tell you something. You will pay for that. I'm not against it. You run all you want. I got clients that come in, they're ultra runners. They run 100 miles. Listen to what I'm saying to you. There is never enough in physical fitness. Because now I watch people on TikTok. I mean, I know what these are not humans. They're doing all kinds of things. There's this one guy in military. He's like a black guy that's in the military. He gets on a treadmill and he runs like he is a buff. I mean, they have abs that's this deep. These people are crazy deep. I'm like, man, I like to have that. But you know what? All I'm telling you, an addiction, listen, an addiction on crack, an addiction in performance, addiction in alcohol, an addiction in running, an addiction in eating, it's all an addiction. It is still an identity issue. I'm not happy. The doctors tell you that you can walk 3 times a week for 20 minutes and that's all you need. I'm just telling you what the medical field says. It doesn't say you need to run 50 miles a week to be healthy. But it's what you want, and you get to choose that. But you can't tear your body down and say, I don't know why God will heal me. Quit running. Quit eating. I can't get over diabetes. I can't get over my high blood pressure. You have not taken care of yourself, and then we wonder why. I knew God didn't love me. I knew. No, you didn't love yourself and self-sabotaged your own life. This is not condemnation, but we think because it is a good addiction, it's an okay addiction, but it's still an identity issue. You have to be comfortable in your own skin. And I don't need, and I heard this, and I didn't like it in the beginning, but the more I thought about it and the more I get with God, I understand it. I'm not projecting this on you, but I've heard Andrew Womack. He says, I don't need coffee to get me going. I don't need anything. Why do you have to be amped up to do something? There's no sin in coffee. Why do you have to have something to make you feel better? If I do this, this just gives me a little edge. If I do this, this just helps me focus. If I do this, if I need this car to make me look this way. I need these clothes to... I'm telling you, we don't realize until we really find out how much we need the accolades, the approval, the looks, the thumbs up of other people to be happy. I'm not a servant trying to impress. I'm a son who's already sealed. So listen, when identity is unbreakable, rejection doesn't break you. That's a good one, isn't it? When you're rooted in love, failure doesn't label you. It refines you. As beloved sons, we don't react from insecurity. We respond from identity. How we respond shows where we stand. So let me pause here just for a minute and just touch on this. So we got to go. I know. I am free to be me in my own skin. What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm free to be me in my own skin. I'm not talking about where you justify where you are in things that need to change. But I'm talking about where there's no shame, pretending, or performing. I'm finally secure inside. He loves me and believes in me. That alone is shattering. That'll change everything if you know He loves you, believes in you, and He sent Jesus as a gift. See, this is soul surgery, mind surgery of getting these things out the way we think that has so damaged us, impeded us, and been toxic to us. Do you believe or are you convinced He loves you? So say this with me. Christ is infused in me. I am free to be me. His faith fuels my life. Say this right now. I am loved. I am believed in. I am gifted with His presence. I am loved. I am delighted in. I am not a servant. I'm a son. I'm not earning. I'm receiving. Stand with me. I want to pray for you. Today I gave direction on what God says. That's the direction we go in.